in truth over talking points, facts over feelings, and the courage to say what others won't. Because when it comes to our kids, silence is not an option. Only in America, dreaming.
Happy Thursday. Welcome into the Lindsey Beckham Show. Joining you today for the second time. Had the honor of filling in for the one and only Mike Madison yesterday and today during the 9 o'clock hour. I think I probably said afternoon a few times because I'm so used to being here in the afternoon time. But we are live here at the WYAB studio, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Of course, you can call into the show 601-879-0002 or text the Lindsey Beckham Show text line 601-879-4648. Of course, I'm going to remind you again, since this is tonight, the, I guess, unofficial WYAB Listener Appreciation Party, Beethoven's Boardwalk. Of course, our 6 a.m. host, Chip Matthews, that is his location. I believe most, if not all, of the local WYAB hosts will be there in person. Come out, shake our hands, see us face to face. We would love to see you and meet you in person. I think I speak for everyone here at WYAB when I say just how truly thankful we are that there are people out there who choose to spend their time listening to us. I'm sure it's difficult at times, but we appreciate it so much. Of course, we also appreciate our sponsors. We could not do any of this. We wouldn't even have a radio station if it were not for our sponsors. So please get out, support these sponsors that support WYAB. One of those being Beethoven's Boardwalk. I keep having to stop myself and make sure that I say it correctly because I've said it wrong so many times. But 6 o'clock tonight, come out, see Chip's new place, get some food, hear some music, and hang out with the crazy crew that I guess is claimed over here at WYAB. I think there's some days that Matt probably doesn't claim all of us. A lot of times that's probably me. I'm kidding. Probably Clay more than me. It's not often I can say that about people. Usually I have the biggest mouth in the room. That's what I love about about doing shows with Clay. I'm not in the hot seat as much when he is a part of the conversation as well. So anyway, y'all come out tonight. We would love to see you. That was my point of that whole rambling. Not sure how I got off track. You know, I'm one of those people who, and I don't think I was always like this. I think it's more in my older, perimenopause. I blame perimenopause for everything, but I'm one of these people who will think about something that I need to walk into the other room to get when I first wake up in the mornings, and then I'll decide halfway there that before I go and retrieve whatever item that might be, I should brush my teeth first. And then halfway to the sink to brush my teeth, I decide that, well, maybe I should eat breakfast first. And then halfway to the kitchen, I decide that, well, I probably need to unload the dishwasher first. And then that's how I end up in the middle of my closet, drowning in pictures from 2003 and scrubs that I haven't worn since 2012. And I look around and think, how did I get here? Squirrel. But I will stay focused tonight and hopefully get to see and meet a lot of the listeners that tune in to WIAB right here. Again, there is opportunity. We do have space if you would like to link arms with us, promote your business, get it booming. We're good at that over here at WIAB. And I say this every time I talk about the sponsorships, but our listeners are truly the most loyal, and they most definitely patronize these businesses who help us stay on air here at WIB. So if you do get out to one of these businesses that is a sponsor, please let them know that you heard about them on WIB and thank them for continuing to make this possible for these hosts who get behind this microphone and give our sometimes very controversial opinions. Clay did sit in with me earlier for a segment or so. I think we had a long, extra long segment. We went a little long, but Clay and I don't always agree. We butt heads. We're truly like, probably that's the closest thing to a brother I'll ever have. And we fight. We have all out wars where we won't talk for weeks, which is really stupid. We should grow up. But, all the times I disagree with him, this is not one of them. And he has valid points when he talks about the crime rates, when you talk about who's killing who's doing the shooting and the murdering and the drug dealing and the killing. More than likely, at least where we live right now, we have seen most of that come from Black people. And when you say that out loud, it's a little cringy. At least I cringe a little bit. But it doesn't make it not true. It doesn't make it false just because we don't like those statistics. They're still very real. And the only thing you've got to do to see that and know that is to turn the news on. You turn on the nightly news, turn on WLBT, turn on WAPT, and you're going to see where the crime is and who's committing the crime. And I'm with Clay on the fact that I'm not going to apologize for being born white. I did not own slaves. I am not a white supremacist. I've never even met a member of the KKK, much less had anything to do with their organization, although I did share a hate map with them. We all know what happened there with the Southern Poverty Law Center. I won't go into all that because that will get me riled up. But facts are facts, and just because you don't like the facts doesn't mean that you get to change them or make something up. And if you are educated and you have the means to move away from the crime, regardless of whether you're Black or white, you do. You get out of that environment, you get your family away from the violence, you raise your children in a location where you're not afraid they might be gunned down every time they walk out the door. I think I'm just fed up with race being a factor in everything, in every conversation, in every debate. In politics. And I've really gotten fed up with people being so quick to label Republicans who want Benny Thompson out, who want to redistrict that particular area, that district, in a way that a Republican stood a chance, because right now that's not possible, because racial gerrymandering was in full force when they drew this particular district, which in my opinion is racist in and of itself. But wanting the second congressional district to become one that's held by a Republican instead of a Democrat does not make me racist. It makes me a Republican. It makes me a conservative. It makes me someone who's paid attention to what Benny Thompson has done in office, the votes that he's taken, the stances that he has taken on certain issues, the votes regarding boys being allowed in girls' sports, the votes regarding biological males being allowed into girls' bathrooms. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're black, white, red, yellow, brown, gray. I don't care. What I care about are the votes you make once elected to represent Mississippi. And if you are voting the way Benny Thompson has voted, then I want you out. I want you replaced. Because I care about my children. My issues that I'm so deeply passionate about are very specific: parental rights, education, medical freedom. Benny Thompson and I don't align on a single thing. So why wouldn't I want his district to go to someone else, specifically a Republican? Because more than likely, our views on policy align much more than my views on policy align with Benny Thompson's. That does not make me a racist. It makes me a conservative. It makes me someone who is pro-life, pro-gun, anti-open border. Someone who believes that parents have the fundamental right to direct the upbringing of their children, not the government. Those are the things I am. Racist is not one of them, but I find it comical that that's just the thing that they throw at you these days. Being called a Nazi and Hitler and fascist and racist, and it's just word salad at this point. These insults that are hurled at people who speak out on what they believe and stand up for what they believe is right. Conservative, traditional values. Nothing about that makes me a racist. Not one single thing. We got to take a break. Y'all stay with us. We're going to discuss and break down the Supreme Court appeal oral arguments in the Carly Gregg case that took place yesterday. Kingfish over at Jackson Jambalaya has broken it down, and we are going to reference his notes when we get back. Y'all stay with us. 1039 WYAB, The Lindsey Beckham Show. That's 1039 WYAB, The Lindsey Beckham Show.
Born in America. 1039 WYAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Hi, this is Rita Jensen with Remax Connection, and I want to tell you, I've lived in Florida for over 50 years. I'm a graduate of Tri-County Academy, went there the first day the doors opened. If you're thinking about putting your children into Tri-County Academy and need a place to live, then give me a call. Without a doubt, the Florida expert when it comes to real estate. So if you need a place to live, give me a call. Rita Jensen, Remax Connection. 601-720-4037 or go to my website, ritajensen.net.
Ken here with Rapid Oil Change, your fast service and fleet maintenance headquarters for over 40 years. With parts in stock to fit most makes and models, we can perform routine maintenance in a matter of minutes, keeping downtime to a minimum. With brands like Castrol, Mobile One, Lucas, and Rain-X, it's easy to see why Rapid Oil Change has been the go-to for fast service with a smile for over 40 years. Don't forget our 24/7 touchless car wash. We accept most national and local fleets. We're Mississippi's leader for fast service with a smile. Visit one of our 6 locations today, oilchangems.com.
Have you been injured through no fault of your own? Do you know your rights? Don Evans does. Do you really believe that the insurance company would disclose all information to you? Don Evans will make sure that you are fully informed. It costs nothing to discuss your case. From car wrecks to malpractice, Don Evans will make you and your family whole again. Don Evans won't ever charge unless he collects for you. Call Don for a free, no-obligation consultation at 601-969-2006.
Why should you choose Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating for all service or installation? Well, they purchase all parts directly from the manufacturer. All of their factory-trained technicians have been hand-selected for skill, work ethic, and experience. There are never any hidden fees or charges. Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating is dedicated to your complete satisfaction, and they're family-owned and operated. For residential and commercial service or installation, contact Ceramic Air Conditioning and Heating, 601-317-0729, or make an appointment through their Facebook page.
Friday mornings at 9 is a great time to chill with us here at 103.9 WYAB. It's the Blues and Arts Hour, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi, Small Town Music, and Fusion Coffee House. I'm Chris Davis, your host. You'll hear from people who play, write, and live music from Mississippi artists and creators, and you'll also get to sample some of their work. And it's every Friday morning at 9 on 103.9 WYAB.
From Jacksontown to the radio, this is the Lindsey Beckham Show.
Welcome back into the Lindsey Beckham Show. We are live here in the WYAB studios right here in the heart of Flora. I want to say a very happy heavenly birthday to my husband in heaven, who would be 45 years old today. Brad, you're getting old. I kid. I don't make jokes about being old after 40 ever since I hit that awful number. But I know this is a tough day for our family, a tough day for my big girls, and we miss him very much. I know that they do as well. So keep them in your thoughts as we celebrate him this year, just like we do every year. We still get his favorite birthday cake, and his favorite color was green. So we release green balloons into the sky and we sing happy birthday, and we try to make the day joyful in celebrating his memory. I think we have a call coming in. Hey there, you're on the air.
Taking calls?
Yeah. Hello.
Hey, this is Bud Parker in Bentonia.
Hey there.
Yeah, just listening to you on the radio, and WYAB got a special place in my heart because I listen to it every time I'm in my vehicle.
Also, well, we love to hear that.
Yeah, and my condolences for your family loss.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Well, how's life in your world today on WYAB?
Just living the dream. Just living the dream. Changing the world a day at a time.
Yeah, you had mentioned earlier about an opportunity to meet all the hosts on WYAB.
Yeah.
When is that happening and where?
That is happening tonight at 6 p.m. at Beethoven's Boardwalk, and that's in Ridgeland. Let's see, I think I have the actual address. That's Chip Matthews Restaurant, and the address is, let's see if I can get it to pull up. It's 135 Madison Landing Circle in Ridgeland.
Okay, well,
That
thank
is
you
at
very much.
6
I was
p.m.
just
tonight.
interested in that. I know a couple of those guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, come on out.
I'll
We'd
be
love to see
happy
you.
to show up.
Yeah, we would love it. Would love to meet you in person.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, you too. Thanks so much. Yeah, y'all come on out. Come on out to Beethoven's Boardwalk tonight out in Ridgeland. Meet the loudmouths over here at WIB. I know Clay will be there. I know Chip will be there. I know Andrew Gosser said he's going to try to make it. Kim Wade, of course, will be there. I will be there. Y'all come on out. We would love to, again, meet you in person, put a face with some of the names, and tell you how much we appreciate you tuning in to WIB. Hey there, you're on the air.
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment about the crime in Jackson. I noticed you guys were talking about the color of the people that commit the crime in Jackson. Well, I mean, if the city is 90% black, then pretty much statistically, FBI statistics state that most people that are victims of crime or perpetrators, they normally are the same race. So I was trying to figure out, what's the point? Because if the city is predominantly black, it's going to be black on black crime. But what I will say about Jackson is it is on the rise from what I can see, because I'm hanging out in Jackson right now, and I see a lot of construction. I see new businesses, banks. So I think people should really pay attention to Jackson and stop beating the city up. You have crime in certain areas, certain pockets, especially the southwest side of the city. Maybe you got some pockets over there, probably the poorest areas in most cases, but your northeast, your north quarter, and State Street's looking a lot better. And so I think Jackson's really on the mend. So I think folks should really stop beating the city up, because it is the capital city. Now, if you want to solve crime, you just need more police officers, more for the kids to do, and you got to get the guns off the street. I'm talking about the black market guns. We love guns in Mississippi, but at the end of the day, we got more guns than people, folks, and they're getting into the hands of 13 and 14-year-old kids and 15-year-old kids, and we don't even require people to take a gun safety class before purchasing a gun. You know what most of your Second 2A Amendment folks believe? They believe, that's impeding on our right to bear arms, or red flag laws, or that's impeding on our two Second Amendment rights. Folks, our kids are killing each other at a rate unprecedented. You don't see that in China. You don't see that in other countries. So maybe we need to really look at making it at least require gun safety classes. Everybody have a lock, and their guns should be locked away so the kids can't get their hands on them. Private sellers can't just sell to private sellers without knowing who that private seller, who they sold it to, and that they're not a felon. But that's all I have to say.
Are there background checks done when you buy a firearm?
But for private sellers, I can sell to my cousin, and guess what? Or to anybody on the street, and I don't have to find out whether they're a convicted felon. And so that's where you're getting all the guns, is folks are selling, and you don't have to do background checks if you're a private seller.
But wouldn't you say that's a part of what Clay talks about as the culture rot within Jackson? And I don't know if you've driven through South Jackson anytime in the last little bit, but it's time. Excuse me?
I'm all over Jackson all the time. And what I will tell you is this. When you say the culture rot, when you're talking about folks killing each other, that's all across the country. I mean, that's any city, any small town, gun violence.
So respectfully,
That's
Jackson, Mississippi has been at the very top of that gun violence year after year after year. Those are
what the
facts.
question is. But see, here's the thing: we're talking about it, but what are we doing as legislators? What are our legislators doing to curb it? I mean, let's just face it. Are we engaging with our kids? Are we going into those areas, making sure that our kids have productive things to do, and making sure that parents are raising their kids properly?
It's not
What
the
are we
government's.
doing
It's not the government's job to make sure I raise my kids properly.
Well, I'll say this: it's the government's job to get guns off the street. That is their job.
People have the right
If we got
to bear arms, sir.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you got felons. Every time you have a felon, guess what we find? Felon in possession of a firearm. Felon in possession of a firearm. Well, where's the felon getting these firearms?
On the street.
That's what people see.
On the street
Again,
again, this is because of the outrageous amount of crime in the capital city. And if you can't see the difference between what Jackson looks like today and what it looked like 30 years ago, 20 years ago, it's changed drastically.
I've been around Jackson for 40 years, and I'll tell you, there's certain parts of Jackson look better, and there's certain parts that have gone down. I used to work in the Metro Mall in, I was a recruiter in the Metro Mall in 2000 to about 2006 or something like that. And I used to hang out on Terry Road, ride up and down there. But here's what I'm going to tell you. The problem with Jackson is if you got more rental properties, more apartments than you have home ownership, you don't build communities with rental properties. That's just the truth. So, and you got absentee landlords, you got these corporations that come in and buy up these apartments, and they're slumlords. You see it all over the place. The Chapel Ridge apartments and places like that where folks that come in, they're just slumlords. They're not from the community. They're from New Jersey, Louisiana, New York. These are slumlords, and these are breeding grounds for crime. If you can't build a community if you don't have home ownership, folks.
You asked me a few minutes ago, what is the legislature doing? Well, I know just this past legislative session, there was a bill that was dropped and passed that if landlords take money from their tenants, it has to be used on what they are giving it to the landlord for. They can't just pocket that money. So the legislature is trying to clean up some of this where they can, but you can't just strip people of their rights either.
But here's the thing. I always say it's good to do that, but a dollar, I say a dollar late, a day short, a dollar short, a day late. But what I will say is this, and my last point is very simply this.
You just said Jackson is improving. So what do you mean a dollar short, a day late? You're contradicting, John. You're contradicting yourself.
No, what I'm saying
absolutely
is
are.
Landlords. That's what I was talking about. Your landlords, that's a dollar day and a dollar short because they should have been doing that a long time ago.
Okay, well, they're doing it now.
Landlords to come in here. Excuse me?
So they're doing it now. They are getting involved where they can, attempting to make things better, just like they did when they expanded the CCID to make things safer in our capital city.
And I'll give you a prime example. CCID. Initially, they just wanted them to be in one segment of Jackson, they wanted to carve out a little area, where North Jackson and run the North Quarter or something like that. My thing was the goal is get more police on the street, and they need to patrol everywhere. The worst neighborhoods, the worst areas where the crime is, they need to be everywhere. It shouldn't just be, they patrol a certain area. You need more police in these neighborhoods, substations. That's going to curb your crime. More police is a good thing. So I can't knock that. But at the end of the day, you can't just say, well, they only going to patrol the capital area or what have you. You need to be in the worst neighborhoods. And they are. They have expanded. But they should have did that a long time ago. And the state should have made sure that, hey, if Jackson needed more police.
Well, good luck finding police that you can get into the CCID because they're afraid for their lives to go into some of these areas that are just ridden with crime. And that's exactly what Jackson has become. When I go into the city of Jackson with my young children, I tell them not to ever take their eyes off of me, not to ever get away from where I can't grab them. And this is just if we're going to a Target or Party City, which of course is not there anymore, but a place like that off of County Line Road, and I'm still terrified. That's what Jackson has become. And if you can't see the decline that is taking place within the city of Jackson, like you said, our capital city that we should all be able to be proud of, it's steady on the decline. And again, we're showing up at the very top of crime rates year after year after year. Tell you what, John, my opinion is because the city being run by Democrats. The city is being run by Democrats, and that's where the crime breeds, in Democrat-run cities. Period. And again, here's the thing. That's also a fact. We got to take a break. Y'all stay with us. We are going to get to Carly Gregg. I promise. We will be right back here. 103.9 WYAB, The Lindsey Beckham Show. Don't go anywhere. WYAB, The Lindsey Beckham Show. Don't go anywhere.
103.9 WYAB.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. American and Iranian negotiators believe they've arrived at a draft agreement to formally extend the ceasefire and gradually open the Strait of Hormuz. That according to two U.S. officials and another source with knowledge of negotiations. It still needs final approval from President Trump and Iran's supreme leader, though. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan says relief for soaring gas prices, meantime, can't come soon enough.
A lot of this is really contingent on developments. Continues to be very difficult to predict exactly how the U.S. and Iran situation will unfold. For now, 9 states where gas prices have fallen back below the $4 a gallon mark, but we still could go higher the longer the strait continues to be closed. In fact, we anticipate the summer average for gasoline could be $4.80 a gallon.
It comes as new reports show Americans are struggling on monthly costs with inflation at a 3-year high. In Colorado, Vice President J.D. Vance delivering remarks at the Air Force Academy commencement today, saying AI will change the future of warfare. This is ABC News.
Smart business owners will tell you the best time to start a new business is now. Whether you're thinking of starting a new business or expanding an existing one, the perfect location is the Cotton Exchange Plaza in Flora. Over 13,000 cars will pass by your business each and every day on Highway 49. Space is available now, so what are you waiting for? Call the Cotton Exchange Plaza at 601-879-3503 to find out how you can expand your business today. The Cotton Exchange Plaza in Flora, where we mean business. Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. here on 103.9 WYAB. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here on 103.9 WYAB each Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m.
El Potrillo, hear that call? Best Mexican food of all. Hot and fresh, that's what you get. Every plate you won't forget. El Potrillo, vámonos. Best Mexican food around, you know. El Potrillo, come on through. Hot, fresh, delicious for you. El Potrillo Mexican Restaurant.
El Potrillo Mexican Restaurant, located in Flowood and Brandon.
Get ready, Louisiana!
Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our Sweet the Swamp Pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a Sweet the Swamp Pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
It's road trip season again. Is your vehicle ready? Take your vehicle to Green's Tire and Auto on Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland to get it in tip-top shape before you head out of town. Don't get stranded while you're away from home. Preventative maintenance is their specialty at Green's Tire and Auto. And if your check engine light is already on, then Green's Tire and Auto can tell what's wrong and get it fixed. Before you start your road trip, take your car to Green's Tire and Auto, Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland.
From Mississippi, where faith, family, and freedom still matter. This is the Lindsey Beckham Show.
Welcome back into the WYAB studios. This is the Lindsey Beckham Show. I am, of course, Lindsey Beckham, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. As always, you can call into the show today, 601-879-0002, or send a text to our text line, 601-879-4648. There are also some live chatting going on on our live stream here. If you would like to jump in there. Let's see here. I was going to read some of your comments. The bad guys are stealing the guns, stolen guns, street sales. Of course, that equals crime. Bird Wallace says, God bless America. Amen. Mark says, good old here we go again, John, talking all that smack as usual. I feel like I've now been initiated into the WYAB family. This is the first one-on-one conversation I've ever had with Here's the Thing, John. Hitting the big times over here. Jackson is number one in crime year after year, and the caller is out of touch with reality. People aren't going to give up their guns. Someone said, what are the demographics of Jackson? I'd have to look that up. Selena Girl says, Lindsey looks like a former Miss America. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Did a pageant or two back in my day, but that was many, many moons ago. Also, we got a text on our text line from unknown texter who says, Lindsey, I grew up in South Jackson in the 60s and 70s. All of South Jackson was like Mayberry. I worked in South Jackson from 1979 until 2023 and saw the slow death of my beloved South Jackson. I went by the house that I grew up in not long ago, and it's been taken over. In fact, all of Hickory Drive looks like Crack House City. John is ignorant as hell. John's a little out of touch with reality, I would say. Unknown texter says, crime in the city of Jackson is cultural. No parental involvement, and a lack of basic values. Jackson has been in a steady decline under Democratic control. It is now a cesspool, and leaders refuse to accept responsibility, choosing to pass blame. That came from Pam in Ridgeland. Thank you, Pam. I agree with you completely. Yeah, the decline of Jackson in and of itself, especially South Jackson area. My sister was actually murdered in South Jackson back in 2009. They never found the person who killed her, but her body was found in an abandoned lumber yard after it had, the details are just very disturbing. Anyway, she was burned beyond recognition, I guess, so that there was no evidence left behind. But when cops are afraid to do their job because the crime has gotten so out of control, then you're in a serious predicament. A non-texter says Jackson is 80% black, 18% white, and 2% other. So, I mean, it would make sense, of course, with such a higher black population that crime would be more black than white, but again, I agree with texters who are saying that this is very much a cultural problem. Father's not in the home. Mom's working multiple jobs to try and make ends meet. Or even some moms who are living off the government and just letting their children run wild, but keep reproducing because that's where their check comes from. It's a very sad situation, and I would love more than anything to bring Jackson back into what it was in its heyday, back when my grandmother and my mom and I would drive from Yazoo City every Saturday to walk Metro Center or North Park Mall. Maybe not to even buy anything, but to people watch and to window shop. I don't know if you've been over to North Park recently, but the last time I was there, I was a little afraid to even get out of my car. It almost seems frozen in time. Just deserted. Hugo says the defund the police movement messed up lots of communities. Look, that's what they do. That's what the democratic movements do. They destroy the nuclear family, the first institution of God. They have no respect for it. They don't care about tradition. It's a big problem. And you better believe that's why we see the greatest crime rates in these Democrat-run cities. Rebel Ray says, what worries me is that the crime is already moving into surrounding areas. Yeah, when you look at Hinds County, of course, either side is Rankin, Madison, and those are some of the safest places that you could live within the state of Mississippi. So I agree. We need to contain this nonsense. We need to do away with catch and release programs. Make consequences great again. Or it will continue. The decline will continue. My sweet friend Carol just texted me. You're 100% right, Carol. It's a Jesus problem because there's no upbringing of those children who turn into adults and do wrong. The parents evidently are not teaching them about Jesus. And that's 1,000,000% bullseye. And of course, that's not just the culture in Jackson. I think that's the country as a whole has lost sight of what's important. We've lost sight of who's important. We've lost sight of who we are, whose we are. Made in the image of God. Fearfully and wonderfully made. Loved by our Father. Children are not being taught how loved they are. They are not being taught how to respect themselves. They're not looking at themselves as someone who is chosen. And they are falling through the cracks into this life of crime. Faster than we can contain it. Please pronounce important correctly. Okay, important. Jesus is fulfilling Deuteronomy 13, 1 through 5. Let's go. And taught as well. Okay. I didn't know that I mispronounced taught are important, but thank you for letting me know that. I'll have to look up Deuteronomy 13, 1 through 5 in the next break. Of course, we know that no man knows the day, the time, the hour that Jesus will return and take his people home. But I'll tell you what, the more crime that we see increasing, the destruction, the pain, I pray daily that Jesus comes soon. Our children are being lied to, they're being brainwashed, they're being manipulated. There's such a secular worldview, and it's at everybody's fingertips. It's gotten out of control, and of course, we can see that when we look at cities like Jackson with the increase in crime and the decline of the entire community. Hopefully one day they'll get some Republican conservative leadership in there, because what we do know is that politics matter and policy matters because people matter, and conservative policy works. The proof is in the pudding. We got to take our last break for the day. Y'all stay with us. We'll be right back here to wrap things up on this Thursday afternoon here on 103.9 WYAB, The Lindsey Beckham Show.
WYAB.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Hot weather requires us to run the AC nonstop. Pure Air Consultants can inspect your unit today to ensure your AC is operating at peak performance. Pure Air Consultants is your go-to Rheem partner that can get the job done and have you resting in comfort in no time. Locally owned and operated, they have proudly served our community for over 22 years. Contact Pure Air Consultants today at mypureairconsultants.com. Rheem and Pure Air Consultants to the rescue.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
At Flora Animal Hospital, our team doesn't just take care of your pet's needs. We feel like it starts with the pet parents. If the pet parent is informed thoroughly and understands the situation with the animal and why certain things need to be done or certain medications need to be given, it's easier to get that done. Our website is floraanimalhospital.com. It'll take you straight to the online store where your medicine can be purchased, food can be purchased, prescription or non-prescription, and they will be shipped straight to your front door. floraanimalhospital.com.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshields, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Jamie Creel in Flora and Ridgeland, 601-992-6000.
This is Demario Davis from the New Orleans Saints. As a Brandon, Mississippi native, I've seen the positive effects Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge has across the state. Help us restore broken families and fight against addiction by donating an unneeded vehicle, even if it doesn't run. Mercy House will pick it up for you. All paperwork is handled and you receive a tax deduction. Call 601-572-7296 or visit vehicledonationsms.com.
Thank you for helping us get our daddies back.
Need to ship something fast, print something now, or wrap the perfect gift? Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt, your one-stop shop for all major shipping carriers. We pack and ship with care, offer private mailbox rentals, copy services, create and print banners, print your photos, lamination, binding, and secure document shredding. We always have a notary available, and we do gift wrapping too. Head to the Mailroom Gluckstadt across from Callaway's or online at mailroomgluckstadt.com. Stop in today and get it all done in one place.
This is Jack Hoffman. For nearly 31 years, Tico's Steakhouse has been a staple of fine dining in Jackson, Mississippi. Dad has long since desired for me to come work alongside him. And now that I'm here, I would like to invite you to come experience our family tradition of our hospitality, sizzling steaks, and healthy poured beverages. Our dining rooms are open and we are taking reservations. Our private rooms are also available along with takeout. Call today or stop in to experience Tico's in the second generation.
Tico's Steakhouse, East County Line Road in Ridgeland, 601-956-1030.
From Jacksontown to the radio, this is the Lindsey Beckham Show.
To the Lindsey Beckham Show. Just a few minutes left here on this Thursday afternoon. Again, tonight, come on out, meet the local WYAB host. We will be at Beethoven's Boardwalk, 6 o'clock. We would love to meet you, shake your hand, get to know you. We appreciate our listeners and our sponsors so very much. Blake Bartlam, if you're listening, we have a matchmaker in our midst, Carrie, who texted into the text line a good bit and comments in the live stream. She was listening to the show yesterday. She heard Ella from Wisconsin, just turned 17, really making a difference over there in her world. And Carrie, our listener, thought we need to hook Ella up with Blake. So Blake, if you did not watch the show yesterday, you're going to have to go back and check that out. She truly is an incredible teenager who's really brave beyond her years, wise beyond her years, and has shown a tremendous amount of courage. And of course, courage begots courage. So when we see people courageously speaking out, it inspires others to do so as well. I guess we will get to Carly Gregg tomorrow. Of course, you just never know. You never know what's going to happen or where these shows are going to lead. You can do all the show prep in the world. 9 times out of 10, when you do that, you're probably not going to talk about a single thing that you plan to. But that's okay. That's what makes this interesting. I love getting your input and hearing from all of you. That's all the time we've got for today. I hope to see you tonight, 6 o'clock, over in Ridgeland at Beethoven's Boardwalk. Would love to see you there. And I'll be back here tomorrow, same time, same place. See you then. Bye.